Alright guys, welcome to the channel. It's a Thursday night. I want to welcome everyone that's here for the first time. What we do here is we give out sports picks, sports games, and we give them out at a very high percentage of winning teams. You know, it's a Thursday evening, overcast. We have a Thursday night football game tonight. The New York Giants will be traveling to the Washington football team. The line opened up at Washington -3.5 at -110, and it sits at that same number right now, -3.5 at 110. You have 61% of the public saying Washington's the way to go. You have 39% of the public saying the Giants are the way to go. The Giants opened up at a +180. They've dropped since then down to +170. And it looks like we got around 36% of the people out there still on that money line play. Washington opened up at -220, and they've dropped to -200. And 64% of the public is on that side of the play. The total opened up at 43, a little higher than I expected, but it did drop over time. Now we're sitting at 41 at -110. In Washington at the field at around 7:30, we're looking at 90% precipitation, so it's going to be a wet field. 7:45, you're looking at dropping that down to 83%. At 8 o'clock, you're looking at 72% precipitation. And at 7:30, 7:45, and 8 o'clock, it's going to be 73 degrees at the field. At 9 o'clock, it drops drastically down to 37%. We should be in the clear pretty much by 9 o'clock, and that temperature will still be sitting at 73. And at 10 o'clock, when the game's getting moving and going nice, we're down to 15%. It should be clear skies, sitting at 71%. A few things to point out. Not only am I a sports game bettor and picker, I'm also a fantasy guy. Daniel Jones came in this week at QB 30. If you know NFL like I know NFL, there's only 32 teams, so there's not much air after 30. Last week, Jones he faced a lot of pressure with that weak offensive line. Barkley couldn't get going. Barkley comes into this game being questionable. I am 110% sure that he will be out on the field. And not only will he be on the field tonight, I think they're going to find out what his explosiveness is like tonight also. I think tonight's going to show where Saquon Barkley is in this year's season. Not many numbers to talk about with him last week. Small rushing yards, small attempts. I know Galladay had 4 catches for 64 yards. He comes in at wide receiver 34, which is kind of low for an alpha figure like him when it comes to the NFL. Sterling Shepard had a heck of a game last week. He was definitely the breadwinner. If you had him on any prop bets with fantasy, you did quite well. He jumped all the way up to wide receiver 45. Darius Slayton comes in. Not much to talk about last week at all with him. He comes in at wide receiver 70, which means not real good. The Giants' defense last week, they did have 2 sacks. They did also force a fumble and recover it. Giants made a good leap this week on the defensive side. They jumped all the way up to defense 12. On the other side of the ball, we got Taylor. He came in for Fitzpatrick after an unfortunate circumstance that took Fitzpatrick out of the game and is going to keep him out for quite a few weeks. Taylor came in this week as quarterback 27. I think that's a little bit high, to be honest with you. He came in last week, relieved him on the spot, threw the ball 15 times, connected 11 times for 122 yards and a touchdown. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I can see a lot more of that going on tonight. Gibson comes in at running back 9 tonight. He had 20 rushes last week for 90 yards. He also had 3 catches out of the backfield for 18 yards. Not bad. He put the ball on the turf last week and lost it. That's what's bad. Terry McLaurin comes in at wide receiver 18. They threw the ball to him 4 times last week, and he had 4 catches for 62 yards. For God's sake, if you throw the ball to him 4 times and he has 4 catches, throw it 4 more times. Throw it 8 more times. Keep peppering him until he puts the ball on. He don't catch it. He's definitely a guy that's going to get involved tonight. Lance Thomas, excellent tight end. Excellent tight end. 3 catches, 30 yards, and he also found the pay dirt last week. Sims had 1 catch for 17. Humphreys 2 for 10, and you had Brown that had 4 targets, 1 catch for -2 yards. Get him off the field. Washington last week, Washington comes in as the number 1 ranked defense this week, deservingly so. At home with some of the best edge rushers there are in the NFL. You know, they accumulated 2 sacks last week, which I thought they could have had a little bit more. They did have 1 pick and picked up 1 fumble. The defense did what it needed to do, but neither of these teams could have pulled out the W last week. They both started out 0-1. So this week, this Thursday, quick turnaround. You know, they just went through a car crash on Sunday. Now you're turning around back on Thursday, and their bodies are going through another car crash. You know, not your typical turnaround for a sports athlete to get back out there and be 100% and be motivated and drive themselves to do the best they can. You know, someone's O's got to go. I'm pretty sure that I know whose O is going to go. Tonight, Daniel Jones is going to open up the offense. Saquon Barkley is going to run the ball a lot better than he did last week. I think the early rain and the footing is going to help the Giants more than it's going to help Washington. Washington is going to have to react on defense instead of an offensive player knowing where they're going for the ball. The reaction time and action time are 2 complete different things. These wide receivers are going to have a huge edge on DB safeties. And I see Daniel Jones airing out the ball a little bit more. Rain or no rain. I see Barkley getting it done tonight. He had 11 rushes last week. You know, I'd like to see somewhere 17 to 18. I'd like to see him grab 3 or 4 balls out of the backfield. Galladay is going to have his coming out game, and it's going to be in week 2, which is going to be really exciting for Giants fans moving forward. Sterling Shepard, Sharp's little brother, he'll be involved tonight too. Good hands, good route runner. And I think the Giants defense is going to apply enough pressure to keep Gibson at bay and to keep Taylor where he needs to be. Just a couple days practice coming in, fresh as a starter. Yes, he did put up good numbers last week. I don't see the same production coming out of him this week. The total, I was on one side at one time. I looked a little bit more into the forecast, and I was like, you know what? If I'm not sure about it, I'm not doing it. So, what we all came here for is the pick of the night. The pick of the night is the New York Giants plus 3.5. And just like I told my little brother a little while ago, go ahead, take a ride over to the track, your local casino, your local bookie, put what you put on games, go home, enjoy the time with your wife, with your girlfriend, pet your dog, pet the cat, go for a walk, do whatever you want to do. You don't even need to turn on the TV tonight. Giants are going to take this game tonight somewhere in the range of 24 to 27 to 17 to 20. That's the prediction. We're going to be back at you on Saturday with a few college games. I'm excited to see you guys again. Have a blessed night.